On September 14, 2008, Aeroflot Nord Flight 821 prepares for departure from Sheremetyevo International Airport, Moscow, bound for Perm International Airport. The airline operating this is Aeroflot Nord, a regional domestic subsidiary of Russian airline Aeroflot. This 737-500 was built in 1992 and was originally owned by Xiaomi Airlines and leased to Aeroflot Nord just 4 months earlier from today's flight. This American-built 737 had just clocked over 45,000 flying hours. The pilots on the flight deck for tonight's flight is Captain Medyev, 34, with 3,700 flying hours recorded, and 1,100 of those hours on the 737, and the remaining on the Tupolev 134.
Did you see the latest schedule?
Not yet. How is it?
It's ridiculous. They're editing with machines.
The first officer, Rustam Al-Badin, is a pilot flying tonight, with 8,700 flying hours, most of which were in the Antonov 2, a crop duster, with only 219 hours on the 737. Prior to taking off, Aeroflot's maintenance crew informed the pilots of an issue with the throttle lever. The auto-throttle system won't be fully available, with the pilots having to operate the throttle levers independently. In the cabin is 82 passengers, including Maria Bretane. Captain Medyev begins his pre-flight announcement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board Aeroflot Nord Flight 891 821. Our flying time to Perm will be 20 hours later. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'll talk to you again before we reach our destination. Until then, sit back and enjoy the flight.
Maria Bretane, worried, sends a friend in the United Kingdom a text about the captain and informs the flight attendant of her concern.
I think the captain sounds drunk.
Close to 3 a.m. in the morning, Flight 821 begins its takeoff roll, bound for PM, with 82 passengers and 6 crew members on board. It's 4:10 a.m. and Flight 821 is just 45 minutes from touching down for PM. First Officer Al-Badin resumes his pilot flying duties while Captain Medyev monitors the instruments and manages radio communications. The captain updates the passengers on the flight's progress with information about time until they arrive at PM.
Good evening, good morning. This is your captain speaking. We've begun our descent into Perm and should have you on the ground in 20 hours, 20 minutes. And the local time is 4:50 p.m. a.m. and the temperature is 7 degrees.
The 737 begins its descent into PM, planning for a right-hand turn directly lining them up with runway 21. Approaching 10,000 feet, the pilots are given unexpected vectors, adding more track miles to their path, to allow time for a departing traffic from runway 21.
Flight 821 are clear to continue descent to 8,800 feet. Follow Bravo approach pattern.
What's this now? Why don't you change direction? Aeroflot 821, we are changing the approach due to impending takeoff of Lufthansa 319.
Okay, understood. Could have told us sooner.
Flight 821 is given instructions by PM ATC to descend lower to 6,800 feet.
Aeroflot 821, turn right, descend to
6,800 feet.
How low must we descend? How low must we descend?
821, descend to 2,000 feet. Surface wind 050 degrees out, 10 knots. Tail wind is 9 knots.
Increase your speed.
right, course.
891er, 821, confirming base turn and descending to 2,000 feet.
Aeroflot Nord 821, restart your final approach. Turn right heading 360, descend to 2,000. 821, descend to 2,000 feet. Turn right heading 360. Follow my instructions strictly.
Since the engines have been operating asymmetrically, First Officer Albazine has been making constant corrections to left and right to counter for the unbalance. Although affecting flight controllability, both pilots are trying to deal with asymmetric thrust issues. As such, many aircraft around the world fly with nagging issues, and safety is ensured by pilots being well aware and correcting that issue. Close to the airport, the captain wants to know what altitude they need to be to make their final turn onto runway 21. Flight 821 descends down to 2,000 feet and prepares the 737 for landing. The lower descent, the more correction of the ailerons are required to manage the mismatched engine thrust. For 25 seconds after the autopilot is disengaged, neither pilot makes any input change to throttle, pitch, or roll of the aircraft. Albadine then asks for flaps 30, but instead of the pilot monitoring job, the captain, to change the flap, Albadine changes the flaps himself.
Flaps 30.
Huh?
Flaps 30.
Yeah, do what you have to do. Come on.
Set.
Just do it all yourself, okay?
Aeroflot 821, according to my data, you are climbing. Can you confirm?
Damn it. We can confirm and we're descending now.
The MATC notices Flight 821 is climbing through to 3,000 feet instead of maintaining its assigned 2,000 feet. Albadine pushes the nose of the aircraft downwards in an attempt to get back on track. With all this confusion, Flight 821 flies past the approach path for runway 21 and is instructed by ATC to restart their approach. ATC then asks if the cockpit is okay.
821, is everything okay with the crew?
Aeroflot 821, affirmative.
The aircraft naturally banks to the left again. This time, First Officer Albadine struggles to manage both thrust and roll and asks Captain Medvedev to take over. Captain Medvedev is resistant to take command as the aircraft rolls past through 120 degrees.
Take it! Take it!
Take what? I can't do it either.
Other direction.
Captain Medvedev is struggling to understand the attitude and the orientation of the 737. Having flown mostly Eastern Russian aircraft, Medvedev used to the aircraft pitch constant and the horizon moving. Whereas in the 737, this is the opposite, with the horizon still and the aircraft's pitch moving on the indicator.
Aeroflot 821, please come in.
Both Captain and First Officer are unable to understand the state of the aircraft as the 737 begins to fly inverted. At 5:10 AM, Flight 821 crashes on the outskirts of Perm, Russia.